Hello. What?
What?
Yes.
Hi.
Hello.
Howdy.
Howdy doody.
Howdy doody.
Neighbourino.
Welcome to the Dork Seduction with
Chris.
and Tarmen.
Well, hi, Tarmen. How you doing?
We're basically nicknamed the OG because we were the original Dorkers.
The original dorks.
Yeah, the original Dorks. And we
The
were joined...
neeks.
The neeks, the geeks, the
The
freaks.
geeks, the freaks.
And then we were joined by those others, and that
Those
was
cool
fine.
people.
That was fine, but we wanted to go MTV and go back to our OG originals like the Teen Mums, because they're things to idolise.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't like shooting dogs in the face?
Right. I think we're more Channel 5 material, to be honest.
That's an insult.
Well,
When was the last time anyone watched Channel 5?
So us
Why
or the
is
channel?
Why is Channel 5 still a thing? I can't remember the last time I've heard anything about Channel 5.
I've never really known Channel 5 to do anything except late night Sunday films, and that's it.
To be fair, I don't really watch TV anymore.
Man.
As in, I just watch the on-demand
So
stuff.
it's even less in demand, Channel
Yeah.
5.
Like, the only time I watch TV is, say, Sherlock is on and I want to watch live. So then I'll sit down and watch the TV because it's BBC and there's no ads, so you can sit through it.
They could literally stream porn on that channel and there'd be no complaints, because no one watches it. You know?
I'm pretty sure they probably have streamed porn on Channel 5.
On Channel 5.
Yeah, possibly.
Give me a date and a time.
Or like Sexcetera. I remember that was a TV show, but was that on Channel 5 or was that on
Sexcetera.
something else?
I'm thinking of Eurotrash, but that was Channel 4.
Eurotrash was Channel 4, yeah. I remember...
Sexcetera really rings a bell.
I know exactly, but I don't remember what channel it was on. Shall I quickly Google?
Because when you're a desperate kid in those days, pre-internet...
To be fair, it was actually educational as well.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's...
But then also like, oh my god, that bush.
I know, right? Leading the Americas, befriending Tony Blair.
Wait, Sexcetera befriended Tony Blair?
No, Bush.
Bush. Tiny Bush.
Tiny Bush. Push the goddamn button.
Okay, so... Actually, no, I was wrong. Unless this is the live air date, like they're airing now, because they don't make the show anymore. It's on Real Lives and Pick in the United Kingdom, which I think is wrong, because when we were children, those channels probably didn't exist.
No, they sound like Freeview sort of channels.
Yeah, so that's probably what they're on now, but not what they were on before.
Sexcetera is still going?
No. It was broadcast from 1998 to 2005. That shows how young we were when we were watching Sexcetera.
Learn a lot of shit.
Produced by Playboy TV, funnily enough.
What good for them, teaching us the ins and outs.
Yeah, I mean, we've got Girls Next Door and Sexcetera. Come on.
Right,
Playboy
yeah.
TV. Great.
Good guys.
Actually, no, I think Girls Next Door was E, but I'm not sure because I don't watch it because I don't
E.
like... I'm not a big fan of
Entertainment.
trash.
Me neither.
And I'm not a big fan of Kardashians.
Not a big fan of Kardashians, E! News, all that stuff.
Or Teen Mum. I stopped watching MTV when they stopped doing
TMZ.
music. Is that a channel?
TMZ is a thing.
I thought it was like a trash magazine.
It's a show or a channel or something like that, but
okay.
it's horrible. But it's exactly what you expect. It's Perez Hilton, 24/7, that sort of stuff, you know.
Perez Hilton is on TV.
Well, he's not, but it's that sort of news,
okay.
basically. Yeah.
Oh, so just entertainment news.
But worse.
Listeners, I have to ask you a question. Why do you guys watch this stuff?
You know what? Don't knock it, because I've watched some of that stuff before. You know, I used to watch Jeremy Kyle.
I think everyone had it on the background at some point and like, oh my god, what is with this?
It's like a
Thank
circus.
God that's over.
It is like a circus.
Matt had friends that were on... He said they weren't friends. He said he just knew them.
Oh.
But they were on Jeremy Kyle.
Friends.
Yeah.
They're
Probably his best mates.
Imagine if Matt just walked out on stage, like, let's get Matt out, you know.
Yeah.
He's got nothing to do with
Matt,
it.
R.I.P. I mean, he's not
R.I.P.
dead, but he's in Leicester, so might as well be.
All right. No offence to you Leicesterians.
Is that what they're called?
Yes.
Yeah,
that's
no
what they
offence to
call
you
it in my
people
head.
from Leicester. I've met more than one of you.
You Leicesterians.
I've met more than one of you, and I didn't hate you completely, so...
From Hogwarts and Hogsmeade and Leicesteria.
But also, Matt, text back more. If you listen to this, you better fucking text me. Because Matt, he could be dead and we wouldn't even know because he just doesn't respond to messages.
Well, every now and then he posts something on Facebook, you know.
I don't have Facebook.
Well, he's dead to you.
Yeah, he's dead to me. He doesn't Instagram. He used to Instagram a lot.
Yeah, he did.
But then again, I don't really search for
quite
people.
a popular Instagrammer as well.
Yeah, and then I don't think he's done anything for like a year or something. It feels like, anyway.
We'll find him.
I'm good on Instagram now.
We'll send out a search party.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm not going to pay for that.
I'm
not
for it.
Walter Rayleigh.
Come on, man. We'll get him to pay for it when we find him. That's the
Yeah.
reward. We found you. You owe us 20,000.
Yeah, last time we messaged, you said, oh yeah, I should really post those Christmas presents to you. And I'm like, what, from last year, Christmas? It's like, why not just save it till next Christmas? Because we're close enough now.
Now it's like 3 years of build-up. And he's getting angsty.
I already know what it is as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, don't ruin the surprise, or do you know? Do you want to share?
No, I don't want to share because it's none of their business.
That's true.
You guys are here for the entertainment that we give you, not for our personal lives. This is not E-entertainment. This is not TMZ. This isn't all that stuff. We don't need to unfold our personal lives to this.
Welcome to D News. Yeah.
Yeah, let's just have a daily, 5-minute episode that goes up.
Guess who had a breast job in the 19th century?
Oh, you went for that. I was going to say it's called D News, so should we talk about some dicks?
Yeah, all right then.
Yeah.
I've seen whoppers, all right? But we'll make
Mainly on sex, etc.
We'll make it thematic. So, guess who had a big whopper in the 16th century? That's right. It's everybody's favourite Lothario. I don't know.
I thought you were going to lean into what we're talking about when you said 16th century.
Close, wasn't it?
Yeah. Anyway, we have some music. Who is the band today, Chris?
I think it's Pure Essence.
Okay. Featuring?
What's it called? The Walk
Right
of the
Said
Living
Fred.
Dead. Oh, Right Said Fred. God, I wish we did. I really wish we did, everyone.
Next week. Not next week's episode. Next episode, because we're on every couple of weeks now. It'll be Right Said Fred. That's our musical guest, please.
And we won't make him play I'm Too Sexy, because that's cliche. He'll play at the end, of course, to please everyone.
Except we won't let you guys hear it because we can't afford the rights to that song.
We'll slap his head. And that'll be all the music you need to know.
I mean, it also sound like other things. But...
It could sound like other things. But with Right Said Fred, well, yeah, it probably would, actually.
Anyway, bring on the intro music, guys.
Welcome to the Brooks Deduction Podcast, where we talk about stuff.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Thanks.
You can go
I mean,
now.
they're a bit hard because we're talking about etc. But
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But their bus fare was on the table, so they can take it now. Get out.
except it's useless because they don't accept cash on buses now.
That's true, but they don't know that. They didn't know that until you just said that. So,
Sorry
guys, you have to stay. I can see you've already sat down. Great. Just keep quiet.
And keep your hands out your pants just in case you talk about etc.
But thank you for the 3+ years of work that you've done with us as well. So,
Wait, 3+ years?
it must be, right?
I think we're 4 years now. We've been doing this so long.
Guys, I apologise.
4 years going. Actually, this is the guest band, Chris, remember?
The guest band, the
Yeah,
Hoovits.
the 5 minutes you've been with us.
That's true.
Yeah. So 4 years we've been doing this. Every time we think of a new topic, I'm like, have we not done that before?
We have to double check.
We've done over 100 episodes now.
No one wants to repeat. Yeah.
I mean, you might with different perspectives.
You
It's
think
fine.
we never get someone that would go back pages after pages and go, see, you made that joke already.
Sometimes I do. If I discover a new podcast, even if it's just from a one-off episode, I will go back and listen to every single episode.
Really?
Yeah.
I would see that as a mark of, I would actually like that, because it shows someone...
But then again, I am me. Have we met? You know I do this type of stuff.
Of course.
Yeah, I get obsessed really easily.
Yeah, that's good. But
Yeah.
I don't think you'd watch every single episode to confirm that something was already said in the latest episode.
I'm the type of person that will point it out.
Yeah, but that's very, very hard and specific.
Yeah, but come on, there are other me's in the world.
That's true.
If you're another me, not literally because there are no other Tarmans in the world we've discovered, because none of you are on Facebook apart from me. Except there is someone on Facebook that has the first name Tar and the second name Mim, and he's from Bangladesh, and he's a he.
Tar Mim.
Yeah.
His last name's Mim.
Yeah.
I like
It's
that.
weird, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
Tar Mim.
should we talk about shit?
Let's talk about shit.
Okay.
So,
I mean, I did a doozy before I kept... No, I'm joking.
dicks and shit, everything on D News, and we talk about that trash being trash. We're downgrading Channel 5, and then the content we come out with is pure gold. So, yeah, fuck everything. So you have a topic.
I mean...
We kind of almost transcended into it.
We sort of did when we said 16th century, but a lot of things happened in the 16th century. Like conquering of unknown worlds and Americas and stuff.
Yeah, well, I remember when we didn't know about America. I remember it was quite...
I remember as well.
Yeah, it was in the 90s, wasn't it? We discovered that shit.
I thought it was the early 2000s.
Early 2000s, might have been.
Because that's when, The Apprentice came out.
When did American Idiot come out? That was about
I think 2001.
2001. They had at least 3 years, I
Yeah.
think, to set up. But well done to them.
Yeah.
They got their
They've
first.
come far in the last
They've come
18
far in
years.
the last 18 years.
I mean, it was mainly due to Trump, I think.
Mainly due to Trump,
Yeah.
yeah. Our Queen of Hearts, Trump. Yeah, we can never be too thankful for him. In fact, I think he single-handedly won the Americas for the Europeans.
Yeah, if there are any new listeners here, which I'm sad that you've joined us this episode, we're being facetious.
Facetious.
Yes, and that means we're pulling your leg.
I don't know the meaning of the word. He probably doesn't.
Yeah, they're Trump fans. We're just pulling your leg. Yeah, Trump is an idiot.
We're just grabbing you
by the misshapen balls.
By the misshapen balls. Oh, man.
I mean, Trump grabs stuff, but not balls. He grabs the other things.
Of course.
And that's okay, apparently.
Policies.
Yeah.
He grabs those policies by the
pussy.
By the pussy, yeah. I'm sorry, it always comes back to that, doesn't it? I'm
surprised he called it a pussy and didn't use a C word.
Yeah, you can't talk about Trump and not come back to groping at some point.
His fans can.
Oh, that's true. They can always see the greatness in Trump.
It's very difficult to see the greatness in Trump.
Yeah, but for some it's not.
But then also they think that mythical beings exist, like, God and stuff.
I tell you what, I can at least see more brilliance in Trump than I can Nigel Farage.
They're both idiots.
Oh, they're both idiots.
I'm sorry,
yes.
Yesterday's shit was better than today's shit. Mm-hmm. But they're still both shits that I did.
Yeah.
So... I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, Trump fans that are listening. Girls do actually poop. I know you guys believe the myth that they don't. They do. I mean, if they don't, they're very irritable. Also, when they're on their period, they're very irritable. When they're hungry, they're very irritable.
I'm sorry, girls, but it's true.
When people try to control our reproductive rights, we're very irritable as well.
Yeah, I would be. Yeah, you would be. Sometimes it's just a case of why are you moving backwards in evolution.
Anyway, no, let's stop.
We'll save that for another day.
Yeah, we'll save this for the next episode. Okay, so back in the 16th century, to Trump listeners, that means the 1500s, because that was the 16th century. That was number 16th of the centuries.
Really? I didn't know. But it's a different number.
So basically, we're going to educate some Americans because they probably think they were there forever.
Well, educate me as well.
Yeah. So what happened was Europe and England, they actually took hold of places in America and colonised them.
Virginia,
everywhere.
Plymouth Rock.
Plymouth Rock, the Hanging Rock. No, that was Australia. Anyway, Australia's old prisoners, but okay.
Fern Gully and all those ones.
So we're talking about the Croatoan mystery today. So what that is basically a mystery about Croatoan. Should we go now, Chris?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Let's go.
Okay. So back in the 16th century, 1584, I believe, a group of colonists went over to the Americas and settled in what is now known as modern-day North Carolina, because I can't say the other word, apparently.
Racacoca, isn't it?
No. So what they were called was the
Acapulco.
Roanoake Colony because they were on the Roanoake Islands or Isles. So I know this can be a shock to you guys, but before the Europeans, who are your descendants of, if you're listening in America, came along to the Americas, there were actually people there already.
No, they were always white.
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Unfortunately, the whites did not rule the world.
Didn't we?
No.
I thought we invented chocolate and conquered everything.
Yeah.
Damn.
So Sir Walter Raleigh was the person that funded...
Sir Walter Riley.
Was it Riley?
Riley.
Riley, sorry. So Walter Riley was the person that funded all the expeditions to Roanoake Colony. And he's actually quite interesting.
Right, he not invented potatoes.
He tried to find El Dorado.
Oh, yeah, he did, didn't he?
Yeah. I feel like if Matt was still around, we'd definitely be doing an episode on him.
Definitely. Well, he introduced potatoes to either England or Europe as a whole, I think.
God bless him.
Yeah.
But I don't believe in God, but fucking God bless him.
Sir Walter Riley.
God rest his soul, because clearly he's dead now.
Or it might be a myth, I'm not sure.
I don't know. Let's look him up on Wikipedia later, and then we'll do a correction next week.
Viewers, that's a little bit of homework for you.
Yeah, just let us know. Whenever we get something wrong, you guys can be our fact checkers.
And also, what's your favourite mash? Anyway, get back to the story.
So the first group of settlers, or colonists, or, thieves of land, we could say.
Thieves of land?
Thieves of land. It doesn't really flow off the tongue, but it's also very true. Settled in Roanoake Island in July of 1954. Not 1954, sorry. I think... Did I just say 1954?
I said 1954 before as well.
Did I?
Yeah.
Okay, 1850. Fucking hell. 1584.
1584.
Okay, so 1584. I always get these numbers wrong. I love how educating the Trumpians about centuries. But I've got it
They've
wrong.
done really well. They've done really
Yeah.
well in the past 30 years.
Okay, so 1584, in July 1584, the initial settlers went there, and there was a bit of a ruckus between the settlers and the Native Americans.
It was a bit of an awkward piece.
Well, no, initially there wasn't a peace.
Oh, really?
I don't think so, no. So I think there were two groups of Native Americans in the area. There were the Croatans, which I had a friendly relationship with, and the Secotans, I believe. Secotans, who had a more bloodier relationship with them. There was actually an incident where a silver cup went missing, and then the English settlers thought that the natives had taken it, and they basically went to war
Over a cup.
Yeah. I mean, stealing a cup, stealing some land, it's worse than stealing land, isn't it? Stealing a silver cup.
Oh, of course, man.
Yeah.
Damn.
So there were bloody incidents, but they sort of settled into some semblance of peace.
No, it probably was. They went, "You stole our land." They're like, "It's right here. It's not. We haven't taken it. Where's our cup?"
Yeah, there was some hostility, but there was also an awkward peace as well. But some of the settlers took the first chance to get away in 1585.
Yeah.
And then we had more settlers coming in 1587.
Yeah, because they needed more supplies.
They needed more supplies, and they were doing a round trip in 1587. They found that the original settlers were no longer there. There was just a skeletal remains. So the 1587 expedition was only supposed to be like a stop by, but when they saw what happened, they decided to stay and actually reclaim the land and colonise, just so they have a foothold in the land in the name of Walter Riley. Did you say Riley? Yeah.
Riley.
So 1587 is when you had the 120 settlers, I think, along with the captain, who became the governor, named John Wright.
Okay. So they set up camp once again.
They set up camp once again, yeah.
That would have been another trip back just to get more supplies, I suppose.
Yeah, so they had to go again, but this was in the midst of the Spanish-English war and rough seas, and then the French pirates. So they didn't manage to return until 1590, which is 3 years after they left.
Crikey.
So John White had left, I think, 115 people behind, including men, women and children, including his daughter and granddaughter, who was actually the first British girl to be born in the Americas. So it took him 3 years to get there because he did try expeditions. One of them was stuck with the Spanish-English Civil War. One of them, they got entangled with French pirates.
What year was this?
I think there were numerous times he was trying to get back.
You said it was 16...
No, 1587
yeah,
is when the next band of settlers went with John White. And John White left, and then it took him 3 years to get back because expeditions that he kept trying to mount fell apart. And he ended up finally getting back there in 1590 to find nothing. There was no settlers, no hint of disturbance, no blood, no remains, no nothing, other than the word Croatoan carved in a tree.
Ooh. That's kind of like the stuff Blair Witch is made out of.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Getting lost in the wilderness in America. That is quite creepy.
Yeah, so the main question is what happened to those settlers?
I think
and what does Croatoan mean?
That seemed to happen a lot in that area during, the Aztec days, didn't it? Since, even the Mayans kind of up and went somewhere, didn't they?
Yeah, it could have been migration.
Could have been. Maybe there was like a raid and they just destroyed everything and took what they could, which was everything.
Apparently it didn't seem like there was a disturbance. But it was the 1500s, we don't really know.
Exactly.
We're just going by hearsay right now.
There's no fast telecommunications. And
no.
That's the thing, because it takes 3 months, just to get back to England?
Probably longer, and took him 3 years.
Oh, wow.
I think it depends on what the circumstances are. And think about it, the Americas is something that's just been discovered, and they have to rely on boats and weather and everything. They could easily get lost.
Big old land of mystery.
Yeah.
It is fascinating, though.
Yeah. So what do you think happened?
Well, I would think it has something to do with the tribes.
Croatans and the Secotans.
The Secotans and the Croatans. I have a belief that maybe the end game was some of them were integrated into their societies.
Possibly.
There might be a case where, because I think there was some study that went on. There were these two professors that were trying to work out what the weather was like back then. So they chopped down one of the 800-year-old trees. And by measuring the wood grains, they saw that during that time, that period, it was one of the worst famines or droughts. That could
I
have
mean,
happened.
they weren't exactly in great circumstances when John White left them, because the reason he left was to get supplies because of how harsh it was living there.
Yeah. So it just seems to add up in that way. Like maybe someone raided them, or maybe the tribe and the settlers decided to put their differences aside and band together to survive. I don't know. I like to think the latter, but let's face it, someone shed some blood, probably, most likely.
Probably. There was some evidence, apparently, that came about in the early 1900s, I think the 30s and 40s, that they found stones that they believe John White's daughter had written into their crusades and their expeditions.
They're a little bit sceptical about those, aren't they?
I think most people are skeptical about those. They think that it's fraudulent, but they have noticed that the first stone has differences to all the others. So it looks like it was much earlier. So possibly they believe that maybe the first one was real and the others were frauds. So someone could have come across the first one and decided, I'm going to carry the story on.
So she described an attack, didn't she?
I don't know what's in the fucking stones. I didn't read them.
I think I didn't read the stones, but
Yeah.
I think it was something to do with like a chief attacked them. And I think a chief actually claimed... Panawatan.
I believe. And that's off the top of my head. If I'm saying it wrong or saying the wrong one, I apologise for any offence caused. Because the Native Americans are the ones that I apologise to.
Like, at this point in time, like, you're not going to cause offence. It's a case where we try to say it as respectfully as we can. Sometimes people just
At least I try.
People just get pissy about this stuff, you know?
Yeah, you should hear how some people try and say my name. Tarmin? Where is that from? And I explain. And they're like, oh my god, it's so weird. I was like, fuck off. Like, I already know it's weird. Like, I have the name.
Like, it's just unnecessary.
Or whenever, like, apparently they find my little brother's name even harder, when it's genuinely not. You're okay. I think it's white people that aren't really around people that are other ethnic I think diversities. Either they physically can't say it for some reason, or they make a point of saying it wrong or saying it differently just to show that it's weird.
I think it's not a bad case if they can't pronounce it straight away. That's fine. But when they have to comment on it,
yeah, and then they continue after you've corrected it. That's why I don't even correct people when they get my name wrong now, because I'm just so fed up with it.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry if I got that name wrong.
That's fine.
I forgot where we were now.
What was it?
Panawatan, I think.
Panawatan.
But again, I'm not even reading it right now. It's from my head. So
that's
it could easily be wrong.
The fact that you remembered it, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. Tamim.
I'm glad. I'd be happy if Native Americans listen to this.
Yeah, it'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
I also feel like I'd be under pressure.
I believe that their society is beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I believe that they've been oppressed for a very, very long time. And I really wish one of them would become president and kick everyone out.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. I mean, like, the Americans complain about the children of illegal immigrants settling and nation get citizenship. Like, the Americas, come on, you're built on children of illegal immigrants.
Land of freedom.
Yeah.
Practice what you preach.
Yeah. Anyway, let's stop being political. Okay.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's really
Very
hard.
But, hey, we're no better sometimes.
Yeah.
At the same time, so, a colony up and disappeared, and there are theories buggering about. My one is that they integrated, but at the same time, I think it's the survivors of a raid that might have integrated.
I think a lot of people believe that they integrated because of the circumstances where they were. So they integrated with the other colonies, the Native American colonies.
And when they came back, there were some tribes that were using words that only
English
settlers would use.
They have some sort of European looks, like grey eyes or green eyes, and lighter hues of hair. But also, one thing that sort of turned me away from this is that they have started like a DNA project regarding the Roanoake Colony. They started it back in 2007, and as of 2016, they found no one that shares any DNA with the original Roanoake Colony. In their almost 10-year span, you think they would have found something?
Maybe they wanted to be thorough, you know.
Yeah.
Got to the end of the first year and they thought, check it twice. 9 years later.
Let's check it again.
Yeah. Waste of money. But yeah, that's interesting, really. That itself is a mystery altogether.
Me, genuinely, I think because the British didn't play well with others. Especially back then, let's just put it that way. Even if the Native American colonies had been more accepting and tried to help them integrate and help along their way, I think they would have been easily offended at a lot of things they had done. And the British, again, there's a huge sense of entitlement. And they think that we deserve respect and everything. Well, so if the Native Americans didn't pander to them or did something that they viewed as a slight, especially seeing as though the first expedition they took up arms because they thought there was a slight taken against them. I think that they would have easily gone to war. We were very war friendly then.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and again, so are the tribes as well.
Yeah, so are the tribes, and the tribes are better at it than settlers.
When you get these two people that come together, and they're both very militant, and one of them, it's a colony that's a colony for sakes. Why is a colony there? It's because you're going to use that land to outdo your rivals. You're going to be exploiting that land. Mm-hmm. And let's face it, the tribes probably knew this stuff anyway, because they had their own exports. They know that when a civilization moves into another one, or they move near the border, it's because they want the resources, or they're going to rise up. And they were building walls. So it's like a defensive structure. So it's, of course...
What, the settlers? Or...
The settlers.
Oh my God, Trump has learned... Like, we thought Trump was an idiot. He's actually a historian.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that, yeah.
He's an actual historian.
Don't you know about the Croatoans?
Croatoan.
The Krakatoats. And the...
That's really bad, because cracker is a form of racism against white people, isn't it?
I didn't even think about that.
And honky is also a form of racism against white people.
Honkatoans.
Can I just clarify? Chris is white. This is not reverse racism.
It's not right. I mean,
No. But you know how some of the have you not seen the internet? People shout about reverse racism all the time.
I've been called a honky before, and I think
I've called you a honky before.
Yeah, the thing is.
But that's a joke.
It's really not that offensive. It's
exactly. Where's it come from?
It's more about the incentive. If someone was really annoyed at you, or they were trying to get you a go, and they called you a honky, that's when you'd be like, well, that was unnecessary.
It's like any curse word. Like, if, say, you called me a bitch, I wouldn't really take it to heart because it's you. Mm-hmm. But if someone I didn't like called me a bitch and they were trying to do it to piss me off, then I'm going to, rip their ass up.
Then you'd be a bitch.
Yeah, then I'd be a fucking bitch. Like, I'm not most of the time.
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
So, yeah, I think that maybe they ended up in some sort of a war with the natives.
You think that as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it is. I mean...
And some people said, maybe the natives cannibalised them. Maybe because they were in such dire straits, they cannibalised each other. I mean, it wouldn't be unheard of.
And when you're drawn to desperate measures,
Exactly.
And then maybe they took their eyes and put it in their eyes, and that's why they got grey eyes and stuff. They cannibalised pieces of their bodies. And
I think you're reading too much science fiction.
Yeah, but it's fun. Yeah, well, the thing is, there was a whole thing about they made a point. There was a cross symbol, and they said, if you're ever in trouble, let us know where you are and put that cross symbol next to it, saying you were forcefully moved. And they didn't put that cross symbol. They just left a carving saying Croatoan. So it was an island that they believe they might have moved to.
Well, they were on the Roanoake Islands. But I think the theory is that the Croatans saw that they were struggling and helped them move to the mainland. So that's the nice theory.
I thought it was the opposite way around. I thought they moved to the island.
No, they settled on the island first.
Oh, that's a good way to settle.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good way to settle. I mean, you're surrounded by water. But then also another theory is that they somehow tried to voyage back to England, which I don't understand how they would have done that. Where are they getting the boats?
Well, just had enough.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, because the first group of settlers had enough. They ended up getting a hitch back to the UK from a ship. I've forgotten the captain's name, but they were doing raids in Jamaica, I believe. And so he picked a load of them up and went back to England. Yeah,
you never know, because the Caribbean, they might have made it that far and then just settled somewhere there. And you never know, it could have been one of those first pirate paradises.
Possibly, or they just did.
Because then you think about it, when you're answering to the crown, you're subjugating people. You have to fight the French and the Spanish, and then the Dutch as well at one point. Mm-hmm. So it's like, what's the point of this? I'm living like shit in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by wood. My biggest export is tobacco, and we can't even smoke it because we have to sell it. And everyone hates us.
Some of it.
I suppose so. But everyone hates us.
Yeah, but they don't care. Say the British back in the 1500s are like the Americans now. Everyone thinks they love them and want to be them.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a case of, where's your payoff? You're part of this massive empire, but where's your actual payoff,
I mean, yeah, they were just subjects. They don't get anything out of it. But if you think about it, the people that went and settled, weren't they landowners anyway in England?
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Like, the only reason...
Or they were the low on the totem pole, and the fact that they settled in the Americas and places like that was so they could get land.
If you're going to get a group of people to go over there, you want to have people that have that kind of ego of, we're going to help people better themselves, and we're going to bring civilization and stuff like that. And obviously, they're going to bring their religion as well.
Yeah, of course, Christianity.
There's nothing that says freedom like that.
It's funny how Christianity has stuck around in the Americas, whereas, I think Europe has become more and more atheist. I mean, I'm not saying there's no religion in Europe, because there is. There's a huge mix.
Wow.
But the fact is that there is a huge mix.
There is.
Whereas the Americans, they're still predominantly Christian.
I mean, you get that a lot in Russia, where they have the Orthodox.
Yeah, but Russia's a different kettle of fish, isn't
Yeah, a
it?
completely different kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't think we should be quoting on Russia or commenting on Russia,
Well,
because Putin will use those nukes.
well, it's not just that. It's a case of he's the type of guy who's so cunning. He'll use the nukes and get everyone to blame the victim.
Yeah,
So
pretty much, yeah. I mean, Trump would try and do that, but he'd be very bad
fail.
at it.
He'd say he won, but everyone will say he failed. But Putin using cyber warfare and hacking and stuff like that—that's the scary part.
But the thing is, everyone outside of Russia can see it, but people inside can't. It is a bit like the Trump's America. Everyone outside can see it, but people inside can't.
It's the 100% approval rating sort of
Yeah.
regime. So you get that in China as well. Although China hasn't been as forthright with they're terrible to
China
their
is
people.
too secular.
They're terrible to their people.
China doesn't pander as much to the outside world as Russia and America does.
Yeah.
China keeps to themselves, and they're aligned with Russia as well.
Mhm.
So, yeah, China... I still want to go there. It seems like a nice place to visit, but I probably wouldn't want to live there or be one of their people.
You wouldn't want to be a citizen of
No.
the state.
I'd also like to go to Korea. Not North Korea, obviously.
You try North Korea out, but you probably wouldn't get back. You say anything.
I may not be the Korean Asian, but I'm still a Asian. Do you think they'd do something to me? I mean, I've
Just
got a British
'cause-
passport.
Just because you're an Asian.
Yeah, I've got a British passport, though.
No, they wouldn't do
No,
anything
okay,
to you.
good.
But
But then again, my British passport isn't really worth much anymore, is it?
what, is it a blue badge?
No, I need to renew my passport, actually, so it could be the ugly colour.
Yeah.
Because I've been putting off... my passport expired back in March, and that's when Brexit was supposed to happen. So I thought, well, you know what? Because Brexit's going to happen. I bet you passport prices are going to plummet because no one's going to want one. But Brexit didn't happen, so now I actually have to get a passport because it doesn't look like it's ever going to happen.
Yeah.
So I was going to put it off to see if there was any point of having a passport right away, because am I going to be able to travel? What can I actually do after this? But
Well,
now
your
I still have
person-
no answers,
Yeah.
so I'm going to have to just get a passport.
Just have to wait and see for now.
Actually, no, I think I should get a passport because I kind of maybe want to go somewhere at some point.
Yeah, cool.
So
Somewhere
even if it's
far.
just for like a weekend.
Just to see it all blow over.
What, at Brexit time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why not?
Yeah, I mean, we don't know when that's going to be,
Go
though.
out before Brexit, just before it. Spend a week out. Brexit happens. See how hard it is to get back in. Or what
Especially,
happens.
no, let's not experiment that with me, Chris.
No, okay.
'Cause-
All right.
'cause
I'm just, if you wanted to
I'm
mention-
brown. The
Oh,
place
yes.
of birth of my parents was not England.
Yeah.
I mean, my parents have a British passport, but on their passport, I think they asked where you were born, and obviously that wasn't here.
A Nigel Farage at the door going.
Exactly. I
"What do you
probably
want?
wouldn't be
What are you
allowed
doing
back
here?
in.
What are you doing here?"
Maybe that's not a bad thing. I probably wouldn't be allowed back in, so that means I'd have to leave the country, and it wouldn't be my fault, so my parents can't get mad at me. Yeah, that's it. I'll do that. My parents can't get angry that I've left.
It's just, I just can't
And
get
I'll
back
just
in.
settle.
Sorry, guys.
Because I think I know people in like most countries now, so
Well,
I'll just settle.
Yeah. They'll just be like, I've
Oh,
got my
damn.
communions.
No, damn. They're going to make me go live with my dad's family. That's in the Americas.
Especially now you got everyone pounding for your blood
Out of the frying pan into the fire.
straight away. Yeah, there's your. We were talking about disappearing colonies, and now Tom's disappeared. What's going on?
Yeah, I always hate bringing it up, actually. Like, I used to be okay with it. I was like, oh yeah, my family are American. Now I just try not to mention it that much.
Don't generalise them. I mean,
They are from California, which is
There's
a shithole,
Look-
but they're still like, they think more like us than, Alabama.
Well, that's the thing. Like, it's not a case. Even in Alabama, there are normal people. It's just you're gonna see a lot from the news on the wrong side of people, and then they're gonna come out in droves and support the wrong person,
As they do.
as they do. But the thing is, don't generalise them because we get a lot of that around here as well. There are
True.
good people in England,
True.
but it's just sometimes it's the wrong people that are loudest because they feel like underdogs. Basically, and they're going to come out in droves more so than the people that think surely, logic.
I
would
really
win.
think we should stop talking politics.
Yeah, it's
And we keep
depressing.
leading back into it.
We do.
But our lives aren't depressing enough.
Oh yeah, of course.
I mean, so what happened to the Roanoake Colony? I say they evaporated into thin air because of a virus that plagued the Roanoke Islands and was made by demons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's logical.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I believe that the same thing that happened to the Mayans happened to the Roanoke Colony. Obviously, whatever alien picked them up also thought, let's get some honkies as well. And then they all settled in Area 51.
Okay, I have a more plausible theory.
Mm-hmm.
It still involves demons. So the demons released a virus in the Roanoake Islands that swept up the colony, turned them insane, and they ended up killing each other. And then the demons came along and cleaned it up and put a nice little bow on it.
All right, yeah. I'll go with that theory.
Yeah. I mean, that theory did come from Supernatural, so...
And a lot less hate speech as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got this whole episode I did from Supernatural, Chris.
Oh, I see, right.
I've been doing the marathon, so this happened in season 2.
I think I saw this on crack.com at one point.
Yeah. This happened in season 2.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Season 2, what episode?
Ooh, 9, I think.
Oh, she knows!
I think. I think. I'm not 100% sure. Should I just Google it? Should I just Google it and see if it's right?
Please do.
Yeah, season 2, episode 9.
Wow.
Yeah.
Clever.
Well,
You are a fan.
I mean, I literally just started we're doing a marathon again because I heard it was ending.
They did this in Supernatural.
Well, no, they didn't do this specifically, but they went to a town where it looked like the residents were like turning crazy and stuff, and they saw Croatoan written into like a lamppost box, a lamp. Actually, no, what was it? It was a telephone pole thing, a wooden telephone pole.
I like that.
Yeah, and then it turns out it was like a demon virus
Cool.
that they were testing out in that town.
That's cool. I like that.
And everyone went crazy. And, everyone went crazy, and you don't know they've got the virus until they actually went crazy. There was no cure, so they had to kill them.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I might have to watch that.
I mean, I think you need to actually get past episode 5 first.
Yes, I do. It was a good show. I just,
Yeah, so I've just been like trying to binge watch as much as possible until the next season starts, because next season's going to be the last season.
Last one.
And I'm on season 6 now again.
Quite a run.
Yeah,
what season is the
years.
last one? 12?
15. Well, the one that's
15,
coming out.
Coming out.
That's going to be season 15.
Season 15 is the last one.
I had to cram 14 seasons in one summer. By the way, we're recording this in May. I had to cram 14 seasons in one summer. And yeah, I mapped out that I'd need to watch at least 2 episodes a day. But then I'm like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just going to watch as much as humanly possible. Just so I can have a bit of a break before season 15 starts.
Yeah.
So now I'm on season 6.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm on season 6.
And you're on schedule.
I'm halfway through season 6, actually. I started season 6 yesterday. Yeah, there was a bomb at work, so we had to leave early, so I had a day off. So, yeah, I haven't been working for the last few days. So I'm halfway through season 6.
I wonder how many people are actually going to realise that's real.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not joking. There was a World War II bomb discovered by my work, so I got sent home.
And it was live.
And it was discovered by my work, which was actually at our old university. So we were sitting on not 1 bomb, 2 bombs.
Yeah. And it went off.
And it went, well, no, they made it go off because, it's easier than in a controlled environment, which means we had a few days off work.
It was brilliant.
To watch Supernatural.
Wow. And that's, we could have died in that for years.
I mean, we could have died, and I could have died yesterday when the shitting NHS wouldn't let us leave the practice. But hey ho, finally we said, yeah, we're leaving. And they said, oh, okay, just get an officer's badge number. And then he gave it, and then he said, can you tell them to watch the fucking news? Yeah, which is fair enough, NHS, fair enough. Would you be paying for my funeral? No. And I would call my parents and tell them to sue the shit out of you.
When you're dead.
No, on my behalf.
Oh,
my parents would sue the shit out of them. Yeah. Like, because they've not just have to pay for my funeral. It's like the emotional turmoil they'll go through. Because my mum treats me like I'm a baby. And I think if something happened to me, she'd just jump into my grave after me.
Oh.
And no, she's not even gonna let me she's not even gonna leave me alone. She's not even gonna leave me alone when I'm dead, for crying out loud. I could die and I'm still going to be haunted.
Well, that's good, though. I mean, it's good to have company, isn't it?
In the afterlife.
Yeah, exactly.
My mum.
Even more so in the afterlife.
My mum.
You know, if I was in the afterlife and I had no one to haunt...
No, like, out of all the people that could join me in the afterlife, I'm thinking, I've already had a lifetime with my mum.
Yeah.
I don't really need her to join me for all of eternity. I think Tom Hiddleston or Benedict Cumberbatch can join me for all of eternity.
I think you would get fucking bored of anyone that you were spending time with, regardless of whether it was
That's
Tom
true.
Hiddleston.
True, I'd get bored very easily with people.
150, and he'd be like, can we do the Loki impression again? He'd be like, oh, fuck off, Tom Hiddleston. I want someone different. It's been 150 years.
Not even your bum entertains me anymore.
Yeah, you're a ghost. You don't even have a bump. You're a wisp. You know, and there's no sex appeal to you anymore. And I can't even touch you, so that's even less. So.
Oh, yeah, no, wait, no, this is my heaven we're talking about. We can touch.
You can touch, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's probably...
But to be fair, I like you, but if I had to see you every day, I'd probably hate you.
Oh, you'd hate me, yeah. Definitely. If I saw any of my best friends for more than, like, a couple of days, I'll probably start having
A couple of days. You're asking for a lot.
I am a.
I mean, we work within a stone's throw of each other, and we never see each other.
Yeah.
Like, we only see each other here.
Right, old introvert.
Yeah, but so am I. Like, especially after work, I just want to go home.
Oh yeah. You literally have to measure your day with a fuck bar. How many fucks are you going to give for each and every action?
But sometimes you're so pissed off you don't want to go home and wallow. So, Chris, if I ever ask you, do you want to go out after work? Just say yes.
All right. Even if I'm not there.
Even if you're not there, yeah.
No, just so you can get it in your mind.
Just say yes because, yeah, I'm in a bad way.
Get those endorphins out.
Yeah. I'll just bitch and moan about life. Anyway, so I've forgotten what we were talking about. So, what was this episode about?
So
Jesus Christ.
Trump is the head of Area 51. And
he was a demon, and he made the Croatoan virus, which killed off all the Roanoake Colony.
And the last season is going to be a tribute to Trump.
The last season, I think, is actually going to be epic, because I saw the last scene of season 14. The big bad in the last season is totally going to be God.
Oh.
Yeah.
You should do an episode of Supernatural with Simeon.
Simeon doesn't watch Supernatural.
Oh, who does?
No one, it's just me. Actually, Freddie does. So me and Freddie have decided, because Supernatural is over, they spend all their weekends doing like Comic-Cons around the US. We figured, they'll have time to come here. They'll come to London.
Definitely.
So me and Freddie have made a pact that if they do one, it doesn't matter how much it costs, we're going.
That's one of the big ones.
Yeah.
You know.
Like, I need that in my life.
Oh, I'm glad
like, because a lot of things in my life are ending, and Game of Thrones ended shittily, and Supernatural is ending. Like, give me a reason to live, guys.
What about Harry Potter 2?
What, Fantastic Beasts? Oh my god, Fantastic Beasts 2 was shite. It's complete gobshite. Like, Fantastic Beasts 1, it was, and there was a lot of exposition. Like, the good part was Colin Farrell, and they got rid of him for Johnny fucking Depp.
Oh, Harry Potter and the naughty boy.
And the naughty boy.
The terrible tantrum.
Anyway, yeah, I don't know what else we can say about the Roanoake Colony other than, yeah, Supernatural probably got it right.
Yes, and like all things, Supernatural predicted everything correctly, and that is how it will go down the history books.
Yeah, that's how it goes down in my history book.
Well, that's another case solved.
Yeah, that we are the dorks that did the deducing. We haven't done that for a while because we've had the other layabouts that just sit around doing nothing.
The cool kids.
The cool kids that are just like, let's just talk about my life.
Yeah. The special wizards where we're just the muggles.
Yeah, we have gotten back to deducing shit.
Yeah.
And I regret saying that because they'll probably be along in a few weeks.
Have you got my deducted stamp? You know, I need to stamp some papers saying, case closed.
No, because we don't have any papers either.
Well, that's a tradition.
I've got a pen.
That's a tradition I tried to introduce that never will happen. But,
I mean, I can try and commission a stamp for you, Chris.
That'd be lovely.
I mean, for your next birthday, which is in a year's time.
That'd be really nice.
Well, actually, not in a year's
closed.
time. By the time this airs, it'll be in like 6 months' time, your birthday.
Yeah. I'll have to keep all the papers ready for when I can actually start closing cases then.
I'm the one with the sheets of paper. I'm the one that does all the printouts that you guys never read.
You do the printouts, the research, and the history, the deducing, and I'll do the stamping.
I love how Matt was the one that did the history degree.
Oh man, yeah.
Actually, no, he didn't even finish it. But I'm the historian here.
He got up to 1600, and it just after that nothing.
No, what happened is just because he was on a different schedule to us. Whenever we went out for food, he had to go to a history lesson, and he didn't go. He'd rather go to food with us.
Oh. So we kind of ruined his life.
We ruined his life a little bit. So, R.I.P. Matt.
Yeah, but he got to be on the dork's deduction.
Yeah, for a good couple years.
Yeah, so consider his debt paid.
I didn't really feel indebted, but okay.
Oh, you're right. In fact, he owes us money.
He owes us money because it costs money to host this, actually. So, yeah, he owes us money.
Yeah. Hey, Matt, I'll come round Leicester. A couple of leg braces, if you're feeling lucky. Okay. No, I can never do that. No.
God.
Anyway, I would say we've deducted this deduction.
At the best that we could deduce.
The best we could do.
In our deductions.
And we can only do our best.
Yeah, our best deductions that we deduce. That we deduct.
Season 2, Episode 9. Case closed.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye-bye.